All right, let's take a look at what's happening in the morning papers. Sorry, I forgot to warn you to get a cup of coffee. That one's on me, but I know Ferial Haffajee has done that. She works in newspapers and online, so she lives on coffee. Hello, Daily Mavericks, Ferial Haffajee. We'll talk about a massive tax story in a moment that I know you're following. Just the Star newspaper, if we could. Let's pick up there. Zuma turning up the heat on Downer. And I can't help but wonder, Ferial, maybe it's just me. Tell me if it is just me. It's the timing of this charge that Zuma's going to lay against Downer.
No, I'm having part of that 5 million rand breakfast, trying to work out what was on the menu there. Morning, Gareth. So, to be honest with you, I think this is part of a series of incidents. Efforts you've seen by the RET campaigners to get themselves back to the top of the news agenda, this laying of a charge against the prosecutor Billy Downer by the former president Jacob Zuma. He does have a case ongoing against Mr. Downer in the courts, and I think this is just a part of ratcheting up of that pressure, and you're right, it is aligned to the timing.
And we're going to wait to see as well what the Judge Pitt Koen, is going to do about that next week. I spoke to William Booth earlier as well. He's saying the same thing. We're going to have to wait to see if it has any impact on the case itself. And now, as we take a look at the Chief Justice story, the second story on the Star, Ferial, more objections to Raymond Zondo's nomination for Chief Justice.
You know, I think they're speaking about the objection by the former Correctional Services Commissioner, Arthur Fraser, who has long had many bugbears with the Zondo Commission. He has said publicly that he sat outside the Commission asking for an opportunity to be heard, obviously responding to the very, very serious allegations made against him when he was spy boss of our country, when billions of rands were lost, 9 billion rand, according to evidence we heard at that commission. I also think it's parts of efforts you're seeing across social media to create disinformation bubbles around the Deputy Chief Justice and now Acting Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, who is likely to make the shortlist of names for the Chief Justice position. To be honest with you, I hope they don't succeed. I don't think that his chairing of the Zondo Commission should rule him out, because so many patronage networks are unhappy with the evidence that his commission made public for all of us to see. So I see that story as part of that disinformation bubble being created, or narrative being created at the moment.
And seems form part of that narrative as well as the SA Natives Forum, which I see is agreeing with Arthur Fraser. Ferial, all right, let's take a look at the Citizen. Lovely photo. The Citizen, teens rolling up their sleeves as well. It seems like the teeny boppers are very excited. I thought social media would have blown up yesterday getting vaccinated for the teens. But the headline story, Ferial, is new threat for the unvaxxed. Stats showing that 90% of COVID patients in ICU are not fully vaccinated. And that seems to be the messaging that the health experts are trying to get across about not being vaccinated, isn't it?
Yes, so I've been reading many of our NICD epidemiologists saying that our key focus now, although now the teens have started, so that's the new story of the week, is really ahead of the fourth wave, is to get the over 50s and over 60s fully vaccinated. So what the writer is speaking about there is this black fungus, which first made itself a fungal infection, which made itself seen in India, and there are now fears that you can see it's spreading across the world, and it really shows up in people with COVID, but usually those with severe COVID who are in ICUs. So there is a concern that if we don't get more of our older population vaccinated, you could see that hitting our ICUs as well.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up, can you, Ferial? The unvaccinated at risk of catching this fatal fungal infection. I mean, it's like we're waking up it's like we're waking up in a nightmare every single day. Fatal fungal infection. Thanks. I think I said it badly. Okay, let's talk about what's happening with the Daily Maverick, Amabongani, Investec's name being dragged into this implication of the largest tax fraud. What's happening there? Last minute with you.
One of our most prominent banks, Investec, one of our best banks, and this Amabongani story, I think, is going to have ripple effects through the week and possibly next week as well, because Amabongani is in this joint investigation with Corrective, which is a newsroom in Germany. They've got this big leak of papers related to a tax scandal in Germany, which implicates the Europe office of Investec as also being party to many of the crooked tax avoidance and tax evasion schemes. I've yet to go and read it, like Gewald van Rensburg writes. It's a complex story, but I do think it's one that's going to be very well read, especially by the markets today.
Yeah, no doubts at all. From Amabongani and Daily Maverick, looking forward to that. Ferial, Haffajee, always a pleasure chatting to you. I'm sure we'll chat again soon. Appreciate your time speaking to us this morning as well, taking a look at the morning newspapers. All right, let's see what